After initially absorbing the mass amount of information, not only on the World Wide Web, but also through visiting local reef shops and talking with employees and owners and such about this great, cool hobby of saltwater tank in the house, I came to two conclusions. One, everyone seems to agree that patience is the number one key when it comes to having long-term success in this hobby. And number two, everything else related to this hobby, whether it's what tank size, the type tank, what's in the tank, maintenance, all aspects of this hobby is open for interpretation. So there you have it. Reef Keeping 101 from someone who's brand new in the hobby. In fact, what I'm showing you here is my 5-week-old tank, and I thought I would give everyone a few tidbits on why I went this direction from a new person perspective and save the professional talk that I don't understand half of which is being talked about for the pros and the pro hobbyists. So here it goes. This tank is a cube. It's a Red Sea Max 130D, so it's a 34-gallon tank, and the reason I started with this was for economics. I did not want to jump in with a huge investment in a jigsaw puzzle type new tank build from the ground up, trying to figure out what matches with sumps, tanks, this, that, the other. I like the idea of a cube because it comes with the filtration, the pumps. You just add sand, water, eventually livestock, and you plug it in and you go from there, which was kind of cool for me. I like that idea, and from here I'm already getting ideas now for what I will do with a future build on a larger system. So for me, this seemed to work out really well. I'm actually the third owner of this system, so I saved a lot of money going pre-owned. I wasn't afraid to do that. I bought it from a reputable place, as well as with the little guarantee, etc., etc. So to each their own. Again, open for interpretation. This is the way I started, and there certainly are several nano cubes out there and available for consideration, and for me it just seemed to be the right thing to do. So the first thing that went into this was the sand and rock and water. As far as the sand goes, I went with the personal choice again, coarse sand of the options that are out there, simply because there's very good flow of water from top to bottom in this tank, and I didn't want the sand flying around, so I went with the coarse setup. Again, just a personal choice. Rock, I have roughly 30 pounds of live rock in the display area, and then in the back area that you can kind of see through here, the what looks like it's behind the glass there is additional rock that I put in the filtration area of the tank. So I have about 33 pounds of rock in this system, between what's in the front and what's in the back. The placement of the rock is very subjective, and again, for me personally, this is probably not how the tank is going to look here in another month or so, once I get more coral in here and eventually 2 or 3 fish at the most. I want to get the coral, the rock in place exactly how I want it, get the parameters set prime in the tank, and then maybe toss a couple of fish in and I'm good to go. So having said that, water wise, I started with fresh salt water, and I did not run any lights for the first 3 weeks. The lights I started to use about an hour a day when I put the cleanup crew in here, which consists of 12 hermit crabs, a variety of red leg, blue leg, and zebra legs, and 6 margarita snails, and then 1 turbo snail, which he is down here right now, and he just sort of looks like he's still taking a break. He must have had a rough night cleaning up the tank or something, who knows. The first coral that I put in, which was after I did a 15-gallon water change on day 21. After that, once the parameters in the tank for all of the testings went really, really well, I put this little piece in, which started out on a quarter-sized plug, and I put it in this weird shaped rock, and as you can see, it's now going to start overtaking the rock, which is really cool, and then eventually it'll get placed down in the sand on its own so it doesn't overtake the entire tank, because this thing is really already taken off pretty fast. So day 21, 15-gallon water change, and then last week I did an 8-gallon water change. Later today I'm planning on doing another 8-gallon water change, and I will continue to do 8 water gallon changes on a weekly basis until all the parameters really stabilize and flatline out nicely, which shouldn't take too much time at all. The Xenia was another piece that I just added in recently, and it's actually on its own rock, and I'll probably break that off, keep the small piece in the very front of that rock for myself, and then trade out the other pieces. The yellow polyp here that I have, that there is a shrimp kind of flying around it on the back side there, I got simply because I like the color, and the rock was already loaded as you see it, and I'll probably place this eventually on the back side of the tank and try to find a way to get it to climb up the back side of the tank and grow on the back side of the tank itself, which I've heard is kind of cool, and I'm looking forward to that. And then the last piece that I actually just put in a couple of days ago is the two-head hammer, and this piece I actually put in this rock and built some sand up around it. Hopefully it will grab onto that and eventually kind of grow out a little bit, and I can then move it around and put it somewhere else in the tank as well. I also recently added some Astrea, I believe is how you pronounce them, snails, which are the little white guys right here, and there's another one right down here on the bottom near the sand, and here's one right up here as well. So there's 6 of those guys in here as also. And then I also have a couple of cleaner shrimp. I put 2 of them in at the same time. They've been really a lot of fun to watch in here. And I happened to be around when one of them molted and watched him jump out of his shell, which was really cool. So anyway, that's sort of what has brought this tank to where you see it now, only 5 weeks old. And when I share the tank with you again here in the future, you'll probably see it look completely different, and there might be a couple of fish added in. So good luck, enjoy. I'm having a blast with it myself.